love this beat. Look, you're gonna be able to see yourself in the mirror. Dude, it's crazy. Yeah. Everybody sing for Martin Luther King. Shout it out. Welcome to another edition of No Negative Behavior TV show. I got my boy Kaza Sose in the building. The original Dr. Brown. What's up, Doc?
Yeah, what's up?
I can't hear you, man.
I said, what's up?
Don't get shy now. Move a little closer, brother. Move a little closer. You know, I know this brother for quite some time, Dr. Brown. Like, this is the original Kaiser Sosa. I'm dead serious, but you know, this is my boy, and he been asking me to come on the show for a minute. So, you know, I think it's, you know, it's overdue. You know, welcome to the show, Doc.
Yeah, thanks.
Yo, don't get shy now.
Nah,
You was talking it up
shy.
in the car. Yo, let me tell you, first and foremost, man.
I'm not getting shy.
All right, you know, like I used to be a lot bigger than this. You know, I lost some weight, and you know, I know Dr. Brown from back then, and in the car he was talking about how much weight I lost and all that, and like he'll try me now because you know he see me walking with the stick, with the cane and everything. He don't know that I beat somebody with this cane till my arm get tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, you say yeah. Yo, so what's good, Doc?
I mean,
Come closer, man. Come closer. All that rocking and shaking like you doing double dutch, man. Back, get a little closer. There you go.
yeah, what's up?
Ain't nothing. What's up? What's up? I think you kind of shy right now.
Nah, I'm not shy. I'm just
Yeah. So like Dr. Brown was one of them dudes that, you know, he used to walk around and he used to have a bunch of books in his hand, mostly law library books and things of that nature, and talking about litigation and the Constitution and rights, human rights, and all type of stuff like that. You know, people used to think he was kind of bugged out, but I kind of disagree with. You know, I think he had something going on in there. Like I seen his. You know, I recognize his intelligence in a funny kind of way, right?
Yo, I'm just saying. I'm just waiting. I mean,
yeah. Well, I'm gonna count how many times you say I'm saying. I'm gonna just count it with this beat. All right. Every time you say it, I'm gonna count it just to keep you mindful of that. So, but the thing is, like when I got to talking to him outside of confines, you know, like since he's been home, I realized that, you know, there was a lot that I didn't know about this brother right here. And I think you made it clear when you said something about it's like looking at a book. Remember?
yeah.
Yo, you're not gonna do that.
No, I mean that's what I remember that.
Yeah. You said it was like looking at a book. What'd you say?
I said it's like looking at a book. It's like when you give somebody a book. I mean, you just look at the outside of the book, but you never look at what's inside. As far as like you see a person's character, and you don't know what the content of a character is.
For sure, that's a fact. You know what I'm saying, and that's something that a lot of times people do, like first appearances, and they make a judgment of what they see right away, right or wrong.
Yeah.
All right, I see how this is gonna go. I see I'm gonna have to pull everything out of you, boy. You was just, yo, I'm gonna tell you, this dude was just chatting it up in the car. You would not stop talking, and now he's like, yeah.
No, I'm just saying it's like I'm just building off of a topic, you know. I mean, a specific topic. I mean,
okay, all right. All right. So, all right, we got a topic. Where you from?
Oh, I'm from the Bronx.
All right, what part of the Bronx? Like, expound, man, because you know.
I'm originally from in 180th, Daly, Lambert, 70 College, Sheridan. I've living around different areas of 5th and Monroe Avenue. But mostly I was raised in the Bronx on 180th and Daly Avenue.
Okay.
Growing up as a kid, you know.
Right. I could dig it. So, tell me, like, cause you told me about your upbringing, and I didn't really know that about you. You didn't really share. That's why I call you Kaza Sosa, cause you didn't really share that much, and we had a lot of conversations, and like what you told me about your life, I was like, wow, I didn't know that about you, bro. Like tell me like how you grew up, tell that story, please. Move up, please.
Yeah, I grew up like my mother, she moved from Florida to New York on her own. She kind of disconnected from her family out there, and she had a kid before me. I mean, she gave the kid away when she was like 14.
What year was this?
This was like probably, it's like, cause I was born in '76, so it was like probably like 73, 74 around there.
That she gave the kid away?
She gave the kid away, and I didn't know this until later on in my life, you know what I'm saying? But it was like she moved from Florida to New York. She ended up with she had me. She ended up with an abusive boyfriend who constantly abused her and stuff. Pops, he left me when I was 3 years old. So
your pops?
Yeah, he left me when I was 3 years old one day. He just told me, like, I remember going to the hallway. He came to my mother's house and took me out to the hallway and said, I'm saying it was my birthday. He gave me scarf, gloves, hat. And then after that, I didn't see him again, He left me without like a father and to be a man on my own at that time.
So he just came, they told you to go outside, your pops was out there, and he gave you a gift for your birthday.
Yeah, he gave me a gift for my birthday. Then after that, he just left. I didn't see him after that. I mean, my mother, she was around with an abusive boyfriend who got her hooked on alcohol. She was an alcoholic. Like, I got out like 7 years old. I was never introduced to my family members because they was, like, she had disconnected herself from them.
Your moms?
Yes, they was never in New York City. She was the only one in New York City, and she disconnected herself from everybody, so I was kind of caught up in that. I mean, like, around 5 years old, I almost died twice in my sleep. One time,
damn,
trying to
bro.
get up. So I set my house on fire. My mother smelled the smoke, and she ended up getting the kids, got me out of there.
What's your sign, brother?
Capricorn. And then
Capricorn love.
Yeah.
I know your sign.
Like, when I was like 7 years old,
right.
My mother ended up, it was like 1983, she got caught up on crack. So, that's
83.
When crack,
that's when it kind of hit New York.
kind of hit. And,
right.
After that, it was like, she was got caught up on that, and drug dealers in the streets, murderers, convicts, criminals. They used me to hold their drugs, be a lookout, run them into the store.
This is in the Bronx.
Spots. Yeah, I was in the spots holding their guns. I used to go to elementary school, and when I was in elementary school, I used to hang out with the kids that used to, they used to just rob schools or hang out and stuff. But my most thing is just going to the like hanging out with the drug dealers that was teenagers, like 18.
How old were you?
Fascinated. I was like 7 years old. I mean, they used to come from Dapper Dan's. They used to have the custom-made Louis Vuitton suits. They used to 4-finger rings.
And that was like
get the life back then.
Right.
For me, like, I mean, I used to hold their drugs and
glamorous.
Stuff. Yeah, to get some change to go play arcades. Because my mother, she was...
The kids don't know about that, playing arcade games in the store and stuff like that.
I mean, that was when... Then it stemmed from there, I mean, by the time I turned like 10 years old, I was serving like 5 years in juvenile prison.
At 10 years old?
10 years old. I did a year, and I went to... I got locked up at 10 years old. Then they placed me on probation, and I violated probation. And I was in Hawthorne, New York, Pleasantville. And when I got I did a year there, I came home and I ended up with the same drug dealers. I got locked up again. I ended up doing another year.
So you was just in and out,
yeah,
in and out.
And then I did a year there. This time I was in Sparford, Beach House Federation, because I got caught up with their drugs and had it in my pocket. And, and not like when I was 11, 12 years old, then I got caught up with a drug sale, robbery.
So you saying at 12, 10, 12 years old, when kids are just, they 5th, 6th grade, you was in juvenile detention centers.
Yeah.
But, I could kind of, I could kind of see you, you going that route at that age. I mean, it's not a good thing, but like, the situation with your mother, your father, and not knowing your siblings and stuff like that, and the drug dealers putting you under their wing, it was a learned behavior. They taught you that type of lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, it's
no way you would have known that you was going to be in and out of juvenile detention centers.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like, even when I was 12 years old, I did, like, that's the bonus. I did like 3 years. I was sentenced to 18 months running consecutive for drugs and attempt robbery. They sent me to
attempt robbery.
Yeah, and they sent me to Spofford. From Spofford, I went upstate in a Wacker secure facility up in Rush, New York.
In a what?
Wacker secure facility. It was like, when I went up there, I was like 12, and I seen the gates come up with the barbed wires, and I'm like, I'm shackled up. I'm a kid.
Were you scared, or were you?
I mean, it was like, at first, I was like, I was kind of nervous, because that's like, I was in and out of the system. I was already in
used
the
to it.
System. It was like, it was kind of, I was nervous.
That's sad, man.
Yeah, I used to show off with my cuffs. When I used to be on the highway, used to transport me with the door that don't lock. I mean, and no lock on the inside and the gates and stuff, and from there, it's like, even throwing out them bids, like from 10, 11, 12, and I had no one to basically
visit you. You didn't have a support.
I didn't have nobody visit me. I had no mail coming from my mother. I didn't know any of my biological family.
I mean, could you imagine a 12-year-old with no support system in the juvenile detention centers? Nobody's writing, nobody's coming to see him. What type of character that builds? I mean,
it built, like, it made me, like, I mean, I had 2 girls in elementary school who used to write me, sometimes and stuff, but it made me happy when I received a letter from them. It made me smile, but I had to really shut out reality, on that, because it's like, when you don't have anybody there to really support you or whatever, I stayed away from TV. I stayed in my cell a lot. I stayed away from people who talked about family, the events, things that they went through, or talk about their visits. I mean,
because that hurt your ears.
Yeah, I mean, I stayed mostly in my cell, and I stayed
isolated.
And I took that, and then it was like, I did that by myself. So when I got to like 15 years old, I got released, and I was thinking, I already have things planned. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do the right thing. My mother, she need me. Whether she didn't invite me, she was going through her struggles with drugs, with the crack. So, and it was another thing hit me. Like, my mother came home, and they had me with juvenile parole till I was 21, because
right.
I didn't have
your history.
I had 3 felonies. I was already in the juvenile system,
and you didn't have a support system.
I didn't have nobody to come get me. So, what they did was, they said, we're going to keep giving you a year extension of, extension of time, and you're going to be on parole. We got parole, report to a parole officer. You violate curfew, we're going to lock you up, and we're going to send you back, issue warrants.
At 15 years old.
At 15 years old. So I had to really tread thin. I mean,
somewhere right now, there's a 15-year-old that is headed down that path, and he doesn't know. He has no idea what he's in for,
Yeah, I mean, when at that time, I mean, I really wanted to do the right thing, but it was hard, because when I came home, I was struck with the thing, like, with another adversity, where my mother, she was anemic, heart murmur, HIV positive.
Damn.
She was 32 years old. I was 15. I was, trying to do the right thing. I couldn't. I tried to be by her side. I stood in the juvenile foster care for 6 months. I used to go to school. My first school was Thomas Jefferson High School. They placed me in juvenile foster care in Brooklyn, in East New York. Stood there. Thomas Jefferson was a school where they was having shootouts in the school.
So you just went from one spot to the other spot.
Yeah, people getting murdered. You know what I'm saying? One of my mans, he ended up getting murdered in the next class. He was having shootouts, and while the mayor was coming in school, there was another shooting that occurred. So then I had my parole officer switched me to the Bronx, and I got to the Bronx, and my parole officer, she wouldn't let me. When I got to that parole officer, she wouldn't let me go see my mother. So I AWOL from the juvenile foster care.
I feel you, Taisha.
And when she AWOL from the juvenile foster care, you know, and
wait, you AWOL mean that you absconded, you ran away.
I ran away, and they told me that they was gonna issue out a warrant. They called my parole, said they issued out a warrant for my arrest. I went to my mother's house and knocked on her door. She didn't answer. I knocked on the window. She was the first floor. Came. And I'm saying she let me in, and then, you know, I woke up the next morning. I saw my mother. I saw her boyfriend. I used to abuse her, whatever, holding her. And when they woke me up, I seen 6 police standing over me.
So your mother called the police?
It was the warrant squad.
They just came. Yeah, when you on a run, you can never go back to your address.
Yeah,
ever.
And I was in my box, so they took me to get dressed, and I looked outside the window. I seen 2 police by each window, and they came and got me. They took me into custody, took me to 42nd. I looked at my mother, and she never said I love you, anything. And I walked out and in cuffs, and I went to 42nd Precinct, sent me to Pyramid House.
Was that the last time you saw your mom?
Yeah, that's the last time I saw her alive, you know. And I walked, you know what I'm saying, with the police. I explained to them, I says, yo, I did the crime for the time that I did, but, you know what I'm saying, just because I don't have anybody to get me, or I mean, they placed me on parole till I was 21, and I was a minor. They didn't want to hear it. So I went to the precinct, Pyramid House. I was locked down 24 hours a day for a whole week.
So
they sent me to Tryon, and my mother died a day before my release date, you know?
Wow.
So
I'm sorry to hear that, bro. I'm sorry to hear that. That's a lot to deal with for a 15-year-old. Yeah. You were 16, right, at that time?
Yeah, she died when I was 16.
That's kind of that's a lot of pressure. You know, that's a lot to deal with. I don't know. I mean, you're a Capricorn. In fact, I knew he was a Capricorn. His birthday the same day as mine. It's crazy. Yeah, that's another reason why we kind of clicked. Yeah, that's crazy, man. But you know, you made it through. You made it through all of that, and but then you know, I didn't know you then. I met you, as an adult. You know what I'm saying? And we was in a maximum security prison together.
Yeah.
How much time did you do?
I did 18 years.
So they finally caught up with you and gave you the bonus that time, huh?
Yeah, because I mean, like after my mother died, it's like, you know, I let myself go. I mean, I died. Like that time, like I felt her leave me, you know, and that was the day of my death, like January 20th of 1993, you know.
Damn,
and,
what's today's date, bro?
It's January 20th. So
today is January 20th, man.
Yeah.
This is the day your mom's passed, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's crazy because, you know, it's like I felt like, you know what I'm saying, I went on a run. I left the juvenile foster care, became a fugitive. I mean, I was, you know what I'm saying, because I didn't want to go back. I was tired. I didn't want to go back, you know.
Hard to talk about, right?
Yeah, I didn't want to go back, you know. I just stood on the streets. So it was hustling for drug dealers, committing crimes to survive, to basically just I went at death, you know. I mean, I tried everything. I done been shot, I done been stabbed, I done ran over by a car in a coma for 3 weeks. I was pronounced clinically dead, accumulated 10 more felonies. I beat 3, 2 state, 1 federal, facing life 5 times in state, 405 months in the feds. But it was like God just never really, you know what I'm saying, let me go, you know.
Right.
It was just, and then
God got that Capricorn love in him.
Yeah, it was difficult, you know, being in the streets where you gotta smudge your prints. You're coming out first time offender, you crazy dude, chapstick. I mean, it was like because you didn't want to go back in the system again? I mean, you was afraid. I mean, I was.
I'm saying, yo, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I told you this when we was in the car. You know, initially, just like pretty much everyone else that used to call you, you know, mess with you and joke around with you, kind of thought that, you know, you was kind of bugged out. But, you know, I had longer conversations with you than a lot of other people. I read a little bit of your book, you know, like using your metaphor of the book. I read some of it. I spent some time at your cell talking to you and stuff like that. You know, we exchanged books and stuff like that, and I saw what you was reading. I still got one of your books at my crib. I bought it home. That book about women, you know that.
Yeah.
I got that.
Yeah.
I still have that. But you know, you've been through a lot, bro. You know, and a lot of people, you know, I guess, you know, whether they took time to look or whatever the case may be, you know, they didn't know that about you. I'm sure there's some that knew because, you know, people in the Bronx, you're known in the Bronx. I realize that this guy is well known in the Bronx, though he's a Kaiser Sosa. I'm telling you, you know, I seen you when you cleaned up. You clean up nice, man. And what's up with why do you dress down all the time?
I mean, cause
get closer to the mic. Drop that jewel.
Cause like I just don't want to be, you know what I'm saying, like out there, like, you know, I always was like a type of person that was not flamboyant. I never really, I mean, because when you put yourself out there, it's like, I mean, you notice and you get, I mean, recognized real quick, or you get, I mean,
a lot of attention.
A lot of attention just come on you, you know.
And plus, you was out in the street. You was in those streets.
Yeah.
You was in those streets heavy, and you know you got history.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand. You know, and you know, you've been how long? Like since I known you, bro. Like you wore like state greens almost every day. Like you really stuck by that dressing down, like not being noticed. Like every day you had on some. Damn near every day you wore greens. You realize that?
Yeah, I mean, cause you know I don't like. That's just like I don't been in spots where you got attention on you, and you know people like really try to come at you, or or police or anybody, and I've kind of looked at like different things from different past gangsters, past people that who been in the field, because it's like something that
you said John Gotti.
Yeah, John Gotti. I mean, he put himself out there. He was flamboyant, and look what it got him. Look at I looked at a lot of gangsters from past, present. I mean, from Alpo Exporter, and it taught me, like even the mob, it taught me how to move within what I was living. Because I mean,
because you was living that dangerous. I don't want to say dangerous. I'm just put it like this. You was in the street.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a lot of, you know, things that go on in the street that, you know, you have to be mindful of your surroundings at all time. I mean, do you sleep well at night?
Nah, I don't really, because you know, it's like a lot of things home, going to funerals, people passing.
So you got ghosts.
I mean, it's a lot of things that I try to forget, you know. I try to forget. I mean, you know, it's hard to forget, but I mean, I try to move forward, and it still plays a part of my life, you know. It's never gonna escape me, you know. It's gonna be there for the rest of my life. But my thing is to try to save the youth, you know. Trying not to go in my position. I mean, what I went through and overcame, you know, because not too many people, not people that I know, have not came back from where I went, and you know, I mean, I survived it.
So you said, I remember you was telling me that while you was incarcerated, that the feds snatched you up while you was doing the state time, right?
Yes.
And they tried to give you a charge. They tried to lose you in there, right?
Yeah.
And what happened?
Son, because I was facing 405 months in the feds. I mean, they snatched me up. They had me, you know what I'm saying, gun charges, things that I had because I was going at one point in time. You know what I'm saying, I was wilding. I was in the streets, you know, and they had snatched me up from the state, and I was facing a mandatory minimum of 100. Now my cop out was at 188 to 235 months.
Okay, that's
I
like
was facing-
100. That's a
like,
little over 10 years.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying, 15 and a half to 19 and a half years.
Yeah.
I was, you know what I'm saying, if I blew trial, I was facing 405 months.
Right.
And my lawyer, he told me, he says, listen here, he says, I've been a lawyer 20 years, and I count on my hand how many people beat trial in the feds. He says, you sure you want to do this? I says, you know, I have an epistle, Pete and them co-defendants trying to talk me out of it. I had people, you know what I'm saying, like Italian mob dudes, you know what I'm saying, and Russian mob dudes trying to talk me out of it, you know what I mean, taking it to trial because not too many people win trial in the Fed.
Right.
So I kind of, you know what I'm saying, was kind of nervous. That was the most scariest moments, you know, my life, because you could be 405 months anywhere in the United States of America.
Right.
So what I did was I said, like, I took
You went to trial.
I went to trial, and you know.
And you won.
And I won because it's like a lawyer. I had to take matters.
You ain't telling nobody.
Nah, I didn't take it. Nah, I just remembered everything that was sitting on the stand. Police, the gun boys, you know what I'm saying, what they said and everything. I went back. I remember I went back, wrote my own version down with their own story, but twisted their own story, and got on the stand and made the script.
And you won.
Yeah.
That's, you know, that puts you in like the 2 percentile of people that ever went to trial against the United States of America and actually won.
Yeah, it was nervous because when they came back with the verdict, I was like, wow, I was scared.
But they didn't let you go. They sent you back to the state.
Yeah, they sent me back to the state. But that was one, like, burden that was really, because it's like being in the feds is like, it's no trailer.
I know about it. I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been to some joints there. I've been to Terry Hut, Long Park. You know, I've been to some places over there. And yeah, that's though they say it's like a happy place, like a camp, like a happy camp or a hotel, it's not. You know, there's really people there that's never ever coming home, and it's a dangerous place. You know what I'm saying? It sparks just like that. So you beat that. You came back to the state. You don't want to talk about that other case, right?
Nah.
All right, so we ain't gonna talk about that. It's like so much, man. Like, all right, so you did 18 years. You didn't have to see a parole board, right?
Nah, because
all right.
Cause you know, it's like before that the feds was because I was facing 6 trials. I beat 2 state, and I beat the feds. The last one was feds, and then the other 3 I blew to because they kept. It was like
gun charge, right?
The state where I blew to, like the drug case, attempt robbery,
homicide.
And
right.
Yeah.
All right, we ain't gotta talk about that.
Yeah, but I blew, you know, and because I already beat them 3 times. Even I beat the feds, they started cheating on me because I learned the law. It's like, I mean, after my 4th conviction, when lawyers kept railroading me, you know, I started taking things to trial. I was going to lower library every day, finding loopholes, beating them, you know what I'm saying? And then to a point when I beat the feds, they was like, oh, hell no. Like,
right, so now we're going to cheat you. We're going to cheat you now.
Yeah, they started instructing jury instructions in a different way and started,
manipulating
things.
I could dig it. So since you've been home, like, just talk a little bit about your transition, like how, you know, we was talking like about, all right, for instance, your relationships, like what you were saying about the relationships, like with women.
Oh, I mean, yeah, just come. That is like coming home, and you right now it's like I had so much goals, you know, so much things I was waiting, you know what I'm saying, just unleash, you know, come home into society, doing the right thing, doing everything positive now, because, you know, And it's like women just welcome me home, and once she welcomed me home, it's like
Get a little closer,
it was
Bounce.
like
I want people to hear you. Come here.
yo, it was like that was crazy because it was like she welcomed me home and everything was good, you know. And then it was like
Heartbreak.
heartbreak. Like I was in for a surprise, you know. It's like call before you come, couldn't come over. Been in the shelter for 2 years, 2.5 years, trying to strive, giving her everything I want. You know what I'm saying? Everything, giving her my all. You know, was in love. I mean, to a point where I was giving everything.
Love.
Yeah, being in love. I was giving everything. I was giving all of my benefits, everything. Being stagnated in the shelter.
So you was in
my
love?
dreams on hold, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like found like cheating on me, a lot of things going on, things that I wasn't even aware of, and I mean breaking me in every type of way possible. Like,
Right.
I mean,
It's you know, I know that, you know, coming home, you know, from doing anybody that come home from doing extensive amount of time and, you know, in the places that we've been in is a little damaged. Like, I believe that, you know, I felt like I was damaged. I'm damaged. And you know, it was a lot of things that we haven't experienced, brother, you know what I'm saying? And you know, you don't know these, you know, the people out here, like they different now. Do you agree?
yeah, I mean it's really different because you know, and when you try to like give a person, like especially a female or something, a compliment, you know, they look at that as like you doing something wrong, you know. I mean, it's not like it's like you like committing a
Like what? Why you talking to me? Like
yeah, like I mean they like you committing a crime against nature or something. Like
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and you giving them a compliment. Or
People don't want to be bothered, man.
And they don't want to be bothered, but you know, it's like an opportunity that they missing on their behalf because you know.
Right.
I mean, you don't know what the individual. Maybe the individual's opportunity.
It goes back to what you were saying about the book, like the social skills, the social skills of the people nowadays. It's like, to keep it frank, they really don't want to be bothered. They got their headphones on. They don't want anybody to talk to them. They mind their own business, because I believe because they're scared. You know, there's a level of fear that's out there that, you know, people are afraid of people approaching them nowadays, you know, and they're so like introverted that, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't say it like that because, you know, I mean, since the day, you know what I'm saying, like human beings first, you know what I'm saying, was, I mean, on this planet, you know.
Nah, I mean is another one.
Yo,
Hit that too.
Since we was like on this planet, people don't realize the importance of social interaction with individuals, because you know why? Because we are there to help one another grow and prosper, and we all have something to offer to the next person, and to
Facts.
be social, and it's like it helps educate and
Each one teach one.
Yeah, it helps individuals grow. I mean, you can't, you know what I'm saying, be antisocial, and expect to grow out of life, because that's not going to happen. I mean, and as far as trust, you have to trust someone. I mean, when women have a boyfriend, before they had their boyfriend, they had to basically trust their boyfriend or get to know their boyfriend. I mean, you know.
So basically, relationships haven't been easy for you.
Nah, it haven't been easy for me.
You said you was telling me about like heartbreak, like how you couldn't think and.
Yeah, I mean, I met one amazing girl, you know what I'm saying? Her name was Cecilia. I think
Shout out to Cecilia.
her name is Cecilia Madrona, right? And
Cecilia.
yeah.
Yeah, how old was she?
She was like
50 what?
Nah, she was in the 30s.
Cecilia?
Like 30. And it was like she built me up. I mean, she like, because when I first like met her, you know, I was like emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, I was gone. I was in myself, you know.
Really?
After being in a relationship that really
tore you apart.
Tore me apart, you know. And it was amazing because I never met a woman like that, you know. She gradually, like, I met her in the bank. We was chilling and stuff, and eventually she was there. She was supportive. She was more nurturing towards me. She was like giving me. I got a credit card. Ended up building that up. She was on me like this, Joe. You better pay your bills. I mean,
she was helpful.
Yeah, she was like, you better pay your bills. You better do this. I mean, in a right way. Or she was like, yo, you ate, you good. I mean,
you know what?
Right.
And I realized how much that means to you, being that, like, now after hearing your story, I could see how that means a lot to you, not having your mom around, not knowing your siblings. You know, it's like there's a connection there. Like you need that. I'm talking directly to you. You need that. You ever been in solitary? You ever been in a box?
Yeah, I've been in a box. Yeah.
And how is that? Like, how did you function? Were you all right in there, or did you had a bunkie?
Nah.
You was in, it's like Southport or something like that.
Yeah, I was locked up.
So did you do well did you do well in those places? Because I did. For some reason, I just fell right in place in those places. Like, for the most part, like in solitary, I was just enjoy my company. Yeah,
and talking to yourself and playing cards.
It's weird.
But it's like, you know what I'm saying, Cecilia, she like brought me back to life, you know? It's like she was
Cecilia.
there. Yeah, she was there, yo. She held me down. I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you. And it was like every day I had someone to go back to, you know what I'm saying, and just look forward. And I ended up getting in college. I got into college.
You in school now?
Yeah, I was in college. She drove me for that, you know what I'm saying? She was like, yo, get your job, get your things together. And, it was amazing because the things that, and she wasn't about, like, you know what I'm saying, like she was, like, showing me. I used to buy things or whatever. She accepted, she appreciated. But she'd be like, for real, save your money, pay your bills and all everything else. And for a year and a half, 4 different banks, we was just, basically,
was y'all just friends, or was it like...
Nah. I mean, I don't understand that whole thing. Nah. Hey, yo, I don't understand the whole thing because there's a lot of things in my life I don't understand. But she basically got me focused, man. And when I got focused, I started getting right back on track.
Heartbreak is crazy, right?
But this one, it was like, but then at the end, it was like, yo, like, she asked me, like, she says, yo, when you want to have kids or something like that. And
you don't have kids?
Nah. And then she was like, and it's like, I said, yo, I want to have kids by someone like you. I was like being, like, really, I was being like truthful. And it just escalated. Like, she was like, stop, man. She was like, oh, I look at you as a friend, but and I was
Cecilia.
like, yeah, she was like, yo, I'll be by your side.
So she wasn't there for that purpose in your life.
No, I mean, she kept building me up. She kept saying, you got a job, you working, put my schedules together, things, you know what I'm saying, things that really, like she building me up. And,
essentials.
And she got mad one day because I lied to her about the girl name that, and stuff, that
you lied to her.
Yeah, about the girl name that did me dirty, and I had to send somebody, in the bank, and I had to I don't know, a dozen of roses, 3 lilies.
Hold on, wait. You lied to her about the girl that broke your heart?
Yeah, like, I mean, and she told me not to come by, so I had to know. Yeah, I had to do something about it. So what I did was I sent somebody in a jar with a dozen of roses, 3 lilies, you know what I'm saying, and a letter. And I called her a week later. I said, you got it. And I asked her to forgive me. She forgave me. But it was surprising because at the end, like, when she asked me, she was like, will you have kids?
I'm going to keep pulling this thing closer to you because you keep backing up.
And I looked at that, and then she was like, she was like, I said, so, she was like, when you gonna have kids, you gonna wait till you 50? I was like, nah. I said, I want to have kids by someone like you. She was like, stop. You know what I'm saying? Then she was like, I look at you as a friend.
Yeah.
I'm attracted to you. But at the same time, I asked her how she felt about me when we first met. She was like, well, I don't remember. And I said,
All
how
right.
about the
Well,
other girl?
Cecilia was, some people are there to play, a position in your life, or they have a role, like a calling. You know what I'm saying? Because you've been through so much. Just think of how much you've been through and how much you made it through, right? Just think of that, and there's people that been there. They might not be blood related to you, but there's been guidance there for you. People have been planting seeds in you because I see what type of cat you are. When I talk to you, even though you used to be like a gas station cat in the street, one of them greasy cats, but you're now like I see your transition, and so I know that didn't just come from you. Like there was people there for you, and Cecilia, we have to shout out. She's one of them.
Yeah, she brought me back. Like, I'm in college. I'm
Yeah.
starting my own business. My credit is at 740. You know what I'm saying? She got me a credit card. She like
Ooh.
everything that
That's what's up.
everything that I have right now. You know what I'm saying? And pursuit of is because of her, man.
Shout out to Cecilia. Wherever you at, Cecilia, if you're watching, Dr. Brown, thanks you. Why they call you Dr. Brown, by the way?
Because
Where'd that come from? You got your PhD?
Nah, I mean it's because I was always and I'm smart. I mean, always helping other people get over situations. So based off of my experience, a lot of things what people went through. You know what I'm saying? And people save people's lives. People about to
Save people's lives?
Yeah, because because people used to come to me and like, yo, I'm gonna do this kid dirty, or I'm about to, you know what I'm saying, cut this dude. And I used to tell them, I says, yo, you know what I'm saying, and this was a lot of people too, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, and I used to be like this. Well, I says, like, what you gonna get out of doing a person dirty? I mean, because you know what, right now your pride is talking for you. Your pride gonna get you in a situation where it's gonna really jeopardize yourself, and not only yourself but your family and whoever love you and your kids if you got kids. So you gotta assess that whole situation before you react. And they used to be sitting there because I found out like real gangs, a lot of people who do actions, they do actions without thinking, without thought.
Do you consider yourself a gangster? I mean, by no means do we glorify. We on the show, we're not glorifying violence. I'm just posing a question, like, back then.
Yeah, I mean, everybody considered me, you know what I'm saying, a gangster, a OG, because of. I mean,
they didn't call you Dr. Brown, though, right?
Nah, you know what I'm saying? And I consider myself, I mean, because, I consider myself a person who survived a lot. I mean, everybody in the streets, they consider me a gangster, OG, a legend. They say, well, but at the time when I was doing things and when I was doing things to survive, it's about survival,
Well, for you, legitimately, and I'm not, aside from what you were doing was criminal, but you legitimately had a need to fulfill. Like you needed to survive, and you didn't have any support system, and you did what I'm not going to say what you knew how to do, but I'm going to say what you was taught to do, because like you said, you was raised by drug dealers, right?
Yeah.
So so these are people that put guns in your hand. These are people that put drugs in your hand. These are people that sent you on shooting missions. These are the people that taught you, raised you into this lifestyle that you was living. And that's your parents' job. Well, legitimately, it is your parents' job, but like they said, it takes a village. But in that time, the villages was twisted. You're talking about the crack era.
Yeah, it was twisted.
Yeah, you're talking about the crack era. A lot of people don't realize how much that era played a part on people growing up in the city in poverty. How much that era played a part in their thinking and their decisions, you know, and their perspectives. So, you know.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you know what? Like when I was on a run and I was a fugitive, right? You know, I mean, I stayed with people where, you know what I'm saying? It was like you was turning around dressing in black and going to funerals back to back, you know? And then it was like you see somebody here today, going tomorrow, you sleeping in the same houses, you know what I'm saying? Top murderers, and everybody who like basically was on was wanted, like for real, not, and they was like real, I mean people that was really in hard in the field and that was wanted by the feds, top, you know what I'm saying? And you got that to slip underneath the cracks to try to be not recognized and stuff, and you turning around, you going and constantly going to funerals back to back, and you constantly driving in a black in the back of the black hearse, another car going out to Jersey,
Right.
you know? And it was like, you know, and it was always something.
So now, present day and time.
Yeah, I mean,
Dr. Brown.
You know, now it's like I'm in college now. I'm doing the right thing, and I really owe it to
Have you been tested?
I've been tested a lot. I mean, you know, I've been tested with a lot of as far as adversities, you know.
Violence.
Nah, I mean, because I found the way. I stayed away from that, you know.
I mean, have you been tested? Like, has anybody, excuse me, has anybody approached you that, you know, wanted some smoke, or like, have you run into any of your history?
Nah, I never. You know what I'm saying, I never been confronted with that because it's like, even back then. I mean, even when I stepped on the blocks, you know, I was like they didn't want anything. That they was like they didn't want no problems and nothing. No, I had my own enemies reach out to me and like to contact me and say what's up and how you doing, and you know.
So you trust them?
I seen that game. You don't trust people, but you know, being in the game, I was learned like, you know, trust is like, you know. I mean, it's. I mean, we could chill, you know, but I mean, it's like to a point where. I mean, they still, like, regardless of whatever I did to them, putting whole family in the hospital, you know, and they still come and sit down with me and chill and stuff, and after I done put they on, and it's like, I said like this to myself, like, I mean, I don't understand that type of life, but
that's forgiveness.
It's forgiveness because I mean, people forgive.
I mean, at the same time, like, I think, like I said, I'm gonna continue saying this, that you have a purpose, I believe, that hasn't been fulfilled yet. You're still here. I mean, you've been through it.
Yeah.
You're still here. So, I mean, continue doing the right thing. You know? And you're gonna eventually find someone, a female. You're gonna, you know, there's females out here. I know.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, yo. Like, I mean, I kind of Cecilia. She was like, "Sis, I can't."
Later for Cecilia.
No, let me tell you something.
Cecilia,
she was like,
man.
she was amazing. I can't take that away from her.
No, she is, but she's not that one, bro. Don't get stuck on Cecilia. I mean, you could pursue her if you choose to, but my advice to you is just keep doing what you're doing. You know, we had that conversation, you know, about school and, you know, not struggling check to check when you're 55 years old, and you know, you gotta keep that focus.
Yeah.
You gotta keep that focus. And you know, don't worry too much. I mean, dealing with heartbreak, bro, is hard. It's
Yeah, cause I mean, after that, like, cause she. Like,
he still want to talk about Cecilia.
No. I'm gonna just say something, right?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening.
No, I just want to say something because, like, after, like, she kind of departed, like, you know what I'm saying? And it was like that, after that little incident, you know what I'm saying, that occurred. And it was like, you know what I'm saying, asking me, and I tried to send flowers or whatever. I kind of felt like, because I mean, I didn't go back. I mean, I didn't say, she was like, it's business, it's not personal, and everything else. And I was wondering what went wrong or whatever. And after that, it kind of took me down again. I mean,
that's what it is. It's gonna bring you down. You know, like I said, the heartbreak is hard, B. It's hard to go through that. You know what I'm saying? But it gets greater later, like they say. It just gets worse first. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But eventually, you know what I'm saying, you'll get through it. I've been there, bro. I know how it goes. So, you know, it's you just gotta, you know, you gotta stand the course. You're gonna be all right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna definitely do that.
Cecilia, you broke my man's heart, Cecilia.
Nah,
we broke my man's heart.
I just want to, I just want to thank you. Like, seriously, yo, I'm not gonna sit here because right now this is where I'm at. Like, I started my own business.
Right.
I was in,
she set you out, man.
Yeah,
she helped you.
I was in Power season 6.
And you
I did.
You was on Power.
Yeah, I was on Power. We did Power because I do background action work for movies. I'm registered with Central Casting.
That's
Networks.
what's up. That's what's up.
I did. We set up to 4 in the morning. I met Lorenzo Tate. I mean, I gave him a pound. I asked one of the casting directors, and then I was in Ray Donovan. You know what I'm saying?
You got one of them parts where we got to go pause. There you go, right there in the background by the store.
I don't know. I didn't really.
You didn't even see it?
I didn't really get to see it. Like,
sad.
But we set up doing a shoot over for like 4 until it's 4 in the morning.
You remember my boy Gene?
Gene?
Yeah, Haitian Gene.
I think I do.
Yeah, I'm gonna have him on the show. He has there's a sitcom out about his whole life right now. I'm sure you've seen it. I'm gonna bring him on the show and let him talk about it. You know what I'm saying? He got some litigation going on about the show too. So, you know, he's gonna be coming up soon. He's gonna be coming up and talking about that. But I wanted to ask you this. You was talking about we spoke about trust. You spoke about God. You was talking about forgiveness. Remember?
Yeah.
So give me your take on forgiveness.
Forgiveness, like, it's hard, like, because, you know, I come to find out, right?
People forgave you.
After all these years, right? I just found out, like, my father, right? He's still alive, right? And
your pops is still alive.
Yeah, and one of my sisters found me, you know what I'm saying? And she basically came to visit me, and like, and they say he's still alive. He going through a lot, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not. I mean, if he is to come across my life, I wouldn't. I mean, you
wouldn't what?
I wouldn't forgive him. I just, you know what I'm saying, probably, you know what I'm saying, spit in his face or something. Because
why would you do that?
Because you know why? Because it's like, when he left me, man, 3 years old, you know, he left me to be a man on my own. He left me without no father. He left me to go through the obstacles where I had to go through in my life, you know. I mean, when a 3-year-old going through things, man, I mean, especially going through what I went through in life, it's like, especially you don't have anybody there. It's like, after all these years, you didn't have any, like, or try to see, yo, what you doing, or try to do.
How you know that?
I mean, come on, if somebody going to try to find you, or somebody want to see you in life, they're going to make it possible to come see you try to do something. I mean, you know, it's not just rocket science.
But all right, but let me ask you this: your father left you when he was 3, right? You don't know. You was only 3 years old. Mom's was on drugs, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, you don't know what your pops was going through. Your pops could have been on drugs too, or he could have been unstable. You know what I'm saying? You know, he can only do what he knows how to do. And I get it, because, you know, I know there's a lot of single moms out there, and you know, the baby father is not around, he's doing whatever, but a lot of men don't know how to be a father. There's a lot of men out there that just don't know how. It doesn't come with instructions. And and I'm not justifying their actions at all. Not by no means am I justifying their actions, but it's just a fact. Like, for instance, when somebody tells you to grow up, we was just talking about this. What does that mean? Like, I never knew what that means. Yo, grow up, Dice. What does that mean? I had to really think about that. What does that mean? What does that mean, grow up? I'm a grown-ass man. No, grow up. That means to take responsibility, and, that's what it means. That's what they're saying when they say that. So, it's a lot that men don't understand. You know what I'm saying? And your dad probably, I don't know. I'm not justifying.
It's because it's like because to this day right now, I don't know. Like, I try to reach out to mother friend. Like, she know my mother for a while. And before that, and come to find out, like, I never had any of my biological family in New York City. That's why I'm coming to find out, like, that's why I was never introduced. That's why I never, and it's like, I was on this world from the time I was beginning to now, it's on my own, basically, And to be on your own without having, I see people
it's hard.
With family. I'm talking about with someone in their life, as far as a grandmother, as far as an aunt, as far as an uncle, as far as that, you know what I'm saying, is concerned. And they complain about that. And I'm saying like this, I never had that. I never had a blood aunt or a blood, you know what I'm saying, a relative that I could go to and consult with for anything else. I didn't have that,
Well,
because I wasn't, and I come to find out, it's like I was in this, you know what I'm saying, world from the beginning to now, on my own.
Well, you know what? Now you got a brother, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Capricorn love. We born on the same day. You know what I'm saying? I'm still rocking with you.
Yeah.
And we met such a long time ago. We still in touch. Here you are on my show. You call me and I call you. You know what I'm saying? I'm family, brother. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just don't ask for no money, all right?
Nah,
I'll just play with you. Tell the people about your business real quick.
Oh yeah, I just started a company. It's it's called Kenny's Variety. I'm working on getting it together. I got freelancers from Pakistan and other sides of the countries. I'm saying, working on a website and stuff.
So it's in progress.
And everything is together, as far as the.
And what's the name of it?
It's Kenny's Variety,
Kenny's Variety.
And I'm trying to make it even bigger than that, because I'm trying to basically put everything together as far as products, services. Trying to outbeat Amazon and trying to.
Amazon. Okay.
I'm trying to become. Wealthy.
Amazon, watch out! Here comes Dr.Brown.
I'm trying to think of solutions to problems.
Yeah, brother.
So I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do everything, but my ultimate goal right now is trying to strive for success, man.
Yeah. And yo, Doc, man.
Not let Cecilia down,
Cecilia. It's too with this Cecilia, man. Yo, you bananas. Cecilia, shout out to you once again. He can't get you off of his mind. You know what I'm saying?
I really want to reconnect.
What's her sign?
Virgo. I really want to reconnect with her. No, because it's like, I really
Capricorns and Virgos, be careful, man.
What?
Just be careful, brother.
She was amazing. I ain't gonna lie.
When's her birthday?
Her birthday's August 25th.
Okay. All right, man. Yeah, anything you want to say to the people before you go? Pull up, man. You backing away from the mic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people going to see this later on. They're going to say, oh, snap, you had Dr. Brown on the show. They're going to listen, and they're not going to believe your story, brother.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because they've been around you, and you did the Kaiser Sosa move the whole time. You going to get a suit?
Yeah, I'm going to get a suit because I'm about to get in the business world. I'm about to turn the
you don't have to dress down no
down.
more, brother. You don't got to dress down. You can wear a suit now.
Yeah, I'm going to wear a suit because I'm networking with different companies. I'm networking with CEOs of different banks to find solutions to these problems that's going on within the world, especially the kids having, you know what I'm saying, dysfunctional home settings, so they won't have to go through the same things that I went through in life, you know?
Yeah. Yo, we got 30 seconds. I just, shout out to Dr. Brown, man. I thank you for coming, for sharing your story, man. I hope it was helpful. He said some things that I hope you planted a seed in someone's head, about family and how important it is. And, we wish you the best, man. I know all my viewers is rooting for you to make it to be bigger than Amazon.
Yeah.
That's a fact, man. You want to shout out your Facebook or anything like that, or you want to keep it private?
Nah, I mean, my shout out on my Facebook is Kenny Brown. Kevin Trey is my Instagram.
Kaza Sose.
All right, give a shout out to Cecilia.
Oh my
get you
gosh.
back
Yo, yeah, right. Yo, tune in next week, man. We out of here. Thanks you, Dr. Brown, for showing up, brother. Love you, man. Capricorn Love, December 23rd in building. Where you going?